Hi everybody, here we are, chapter 11. And I know this is the same week as the midterm, so it's difficult because we've got those 3 chapters to go through this week. But I just wanted to let you know that Unit 6 and Unit 7, also 3 chapters each, but we don't have another paper due on those weeks. And then week 8 will just be all about your final, so there won't be any lectures and questions in discussion board and, Cengage quizzes. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up as quickly as we can. Here we go into the Islamic world. And if you are saving slides, you want to do a screen cap of all of this interesting stuff just in case you wanted to use it for your final. And the map of the Islamic world around 1500. Okay, couple of things I highlighted here on the timeline. The Hira, that was the first immigration. Muhammad had to, he left Mecca and went to Medina. So that was one of those famous paths that a lot of people wanted to cross. And then, of course, we remember this from the Byzantine era, the Ottomans. Still a big deal. Okay, this is the Great Mosque. The structural foundational style of the Great Mosque of Damascus is Roman precinct walls. So that's very recent in our discussion of history. The primary function of Islamic religious architecture is to support prayer. Of course it is. Okay, Dome of the Rock. Wow, this is a really famous monument. It was built in Jerusalem over the place where Muhammad began his miraculous journey to heaven. So, quite a big deal. And beautiful. Okay, there's the interior. Mithraism, which is a god, an Iranian god, Mithra. It does not have strong ties to the site enclosed by the Dome of the Rock. Islam, Christianity, and Judaism all do. Okay, this is the dome. And this is the Great Mosque again from Cordoba. It has a hypostyle prayer hall, which we remember from the Egyptians, with a horseshoe-shaped arches adapted from the Visigoths. Visigoths, they were like a barbarian society, kind of like the Vikings. I don't know, they predate the Vikings, but anyway, we're going to hear more about them. The defining feature of a hypostyle hall is columns. So again, we remember that from ancient Egypt. The positioning of all mosques, no matter what period or what country, must be oriented toward the city of Mecca. So they face Mecca. Speaking of Mecca and the Kaaba, that's that building that's in Mecca. Muhammad had all of the idols within it destroyed. But he allowed the Kaaba to be preserved because he saw it as the Islamic world's symbolic center. So it's not really an artwork we discover, but the Kaaba is important. Okay, and here we are again at the Great Mosque. Remember that the location of these murals, if you see this picture, is the Great Mosque in Damascus. The Egyptian culture did not contribute to the design and decoration of the Great Mosque of Damascus, but Byzantine, Roman, and early Christian cultures all did. So we don't see any Egyptian influences here. Here's the plan for the Umayyad Palace. And this is a frieze that's been saved from that palace. And then this is an aerial view of the Great Mosque looking north, so kind of from the backside. Notice that it's located in Kairouan, Tunisia. Muhammad's house in Medina is the supposed precursor of the hypostyle design mosque, such as this one in Kairouan. Okay, here's the plan for the mosque. And this is the Malwiya minaret. Minarets were usually, in history, they were used for, someone would run up to the top of the minaret and call everyone to prayer at certain times of day. The height, though, of this one, the Malwiya minaret in Samarra, it was too tall to be climbed to call the Muslims to prayer. That was just way too far to go, especially, going round and round. So it was used to announce the presence of Islam in the Tigris Valley. This is the Mausoleum of the Samanids from Bakura. This is a dome on cube type of structure, so we've seen those before. Shaped bricks form the decoration of the Mausoleum of the Samanids. So those are points to remember. And I always remember this picture from this period. How gorgeous is that pattern, and the repeating and repeating and repeating. It's just incredible. So this is the Great Mosque. This, okay, so this is the east gate of the Mesquita of the Great Mosque. The Visigoth church was used as a source of architectural pieces to build the Mesquita of Cordoba, and we're going to talk about the differences that we see here in a minute. Okay, so the component of the mosque plan here is the Maxora. This monument at the Mesquita in Cordoba shows the Islamic experimentation with multi-lobed arches. So see, the arch has multiple lobes. So we hadn't seen that before. Multi-lobed arches are a decorative form that architects of the Cordoba Maxora experimented with. Okay, this is a mihrab. Well, this is the dome in front of the mihrab. But I just wanted to note what that means. The likely origin of the mihrab, the semicircular niche set in the Qibla wall, it marks where Muhammad stood to lead communal worship, and it would face Mecca. So this is an aerial view of the Friday Mosque, and that's the plan for it. And there's another mihrab. So wow, just gorgeous. So that's where everyone would face to pray. And this is the interior of the Friday Mosque. And then here we've got confronting lions. Lions? Okay, think about that, because that's going to come up. Alright, this is a pyxis of Al-Maghura, and it is a very famous cylindrical container that would have been used to hold cosmetics. And this was a gift for the 18-year-old son of a caliph. So the caliphs were kind of like the civil and religious leaders of this era. Suleiman, we're going to hear a lot more about him. So this is one of his early sculptures. This is a Quran page. An ancient Arab proverb proclaims, purity of writing is purity of soul. And this describes the art of calligraphy. Vellum is made from animal skin, that's what this is written on, that has been stretched over a wooden frame. It is translucent, so you would see light through it. It's not transparent, it's translucent. The practice of calligraphy, and here's another folio from the Blue Quran. So this was dyed. It was considered a holy task that required arduous training. The design and the decoration of the Islamic Qurans has been the closest parallel to the medieval manuscripts of Britain and Ireland. And we've got more coming up in the next chapter on those. Okay, this is a dish. If you had asked me, I would have thought it was a clock. But it's actually a dish with an Arabic proverb. The Alhambra Palace Fortress was built in the 14th century, And the vault in the hall of the Aben Serages, which is this one, is meant to symbolize the dome of heaven. Okay, so we're looking up here and getting inspiration. This is the court of the lions, and if you look carefully at this picture, the stone figures of lions supporting the fountain in the palace of the lions are very unusual in Islamic art. You don't usually see a lot of lions. Okay, this is the Madrasa Mosque. It's a plan. And the madrasa is a large complex built in Cairo by Sultan Hassan. So here he is. It functioned as a theological college. How about that? So a college about religion. And here we've got our first illuminated script. It's interesting that this is on paper, but this is by Suleiman the Magnificent, now he is, from Constantinople. The Mosque of Selim II, which is this building, is considered the greatest achievement of the Ottoman court architect Suleiman the Magnificent. So before Sinan became an architect for Suleiman the Magnificent, he was an engineer. So he's like, you know, an underling, I guess you would say. The mosque was built over 1,000 years after the Hagia Sophia. So you remember that from the Byzantine era. It looks so similar to me with the minarets and the dome over the square. Seljuk and Ottoman are the major Muslim dynasties of what is now Turkey. So notice that this is located in Edirne. Okay, the mosque pictured in this image is located in Edirne, Turkey. So it's not going to tell you Turkey if you get that question. Turkey presented the strongest resistance to the initial spread of Islam. There's another mihrab that we face to pray. And this minaret of the Friday Mosque, coming back to the Friday Mosque, at Isfahan is covered in mosaic tile work. Gorgeous gold and turquoise. You might remember the term Iwan from Chapter 2, Mesopotamia and Persia. The palace at Ctesiphon also had an Iwan, which is kind of like an audience hall. It was probably used more for, you know, trying to think of the word. Just like a large group of praying people. I can't think of the word. Whoops. Okay, so the 4 Iwan Mosque is of this standard type is located in Iran. Now I'm going to think about that. Okay. Gorgeous, gorgeous portal to the Imam Mosque. And this is it's a notable carpet at the funerary mosque, the Maqsad of Kashan. It's designed by the Maqsad, so here's the artist, and it has decorative images of his name, lamps, flowers, but notice there are no lions. Lions are very rare. This is a lamp. I imagine it was filled with oil and then lit with a wick. Okay, Behzad. Oops. Behzad. The artist that produced this manuscript painting for the Timurid Islamic dynasty, and it doesn't say that on the slide, but notice that this is of the Timurid. And Behzad was the most renowned Persian painter of the Timurid dynasty. So he is notable. Okay, so here we've got another painted page. And we see all of the riches. This is a basin, so just like a bowl. And a canteen. How about that? Keep that in your pocket. It has episodes. These narrative scenes have on this brass vessel appear counterclockwise, so you would read it backwards to the way we would read it today. Okay, we've got some additional notes that you might want to screen cap because these are really cool facts. And discussion questions, again, a great source for your midterm or final paper.